Okay, so you've got this brilliant idea for a business. You think it could really take off. But then you hit this terrifying reality. There's a huge gap between learning about business and actually doing it. And that gap, that's apparently where, 90% of new companies just fizzle out. Reading about supply chains is one thing, but actually facing a real bottleneck when orders are pouring in. Totally different ballgame. Yeah, traditional business school teaches you the concepts, the what, but today's market, it's moving so fast, especially with global e-commerce. It demands you know how to act right now under pressure. So today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty revolutionary, actually. How training is changing, using immersive tech, AR and VR, XR, to build founders who can actually succeed.
That's exactly right. We're not just talking shiny new headsets here. We want to get into the actual content that's changing how people learn and build competence. We're digging into the Entrepreneurship and Business Development Collection, specifically from EON Reality's XR Library Premium. The idea is to unpack how this AI-powered immersive training is built to take those initial sparks, those ideas, and turn them into businesses that can actually scale. It forces you to execute basically from day one.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, first, you have to understand the problem we're trying to solve. And honestly, it's a bit of a crisis in business skills. Think about it. Every year, something like 300 million startups get launched around the world. That's incredible energy, incredible innovation. But the flip side is that staggering statistic. 9 out of 10 of them fail. 9 out of 10.
That failure rate is just brutal. And the source material we looked at points to something really interesting. It's often not because the idea was bad, or even that the product wasn't good. The number one reason cited, lack of business skills. So people can build the thing, maybe, but they can't manage the money or price it right or figure out how to grow.
Precisely. And this skill gap is just amplified by how complex today's market is. Look at the environment they're launching into. Global e-commerce. It blew past $6 trillion this year, and it's still speeding up. If you don't get digital marketing, how to find customers, how to work those online platforms right away, well, you're basically finished before you start.
And then there's the money side, right?
Yeah.
Underlying all of it. We saw that something like 57% of adults globally lack basic financial literacy. If the founders can't properly read a profit and loss statement or understand what burn rate means or really gauge investment risk, they're flying blind, aren't they? Making critical decisions without the key information. That inability to manage money just crushes so many entrepreneurial dreams.
Yeah, and if you tie it all together, the data's pretty clear. Businesses that really prioritize innovation are like 3 times more profitable. But innovation means taking calculated risks. And you can't calculate risk if you don't have the skills, the competence. Traditional training lectures, textbooks, it's just too theoretical. It gives you awareness maybe, but not the muscle memory you need. Not for when you have to pivot strategy fast or convince investors or handle a supply crisis when real money's on the line.
Okay, so that really sets the stage for why this immersive approach is so different. It's not just like one VR game. It's structured. A full curriculum broken down into 5 key areas or pillars covers the whole business journey, but you learn by doing through these hands-on simulations.
Right. That structure itself is a huge leap. It begins with Pillar 1, startup launch and validation. This is about the very beginning, getting the idea, figuring out the business model. Yeah. But crucially, you're not just writing a paper about it.
No, exactly. Instead of drafting a pitch deck in Word, you put on the headset and boom, you're suddenly in this virtual boardroom facing a panel of AI investors. You have to actually pitch your idea, sell the vision, the value, why it's feasible.
And this is where the AI really changes things. It's not just role-playing. The AI judges your pitch, clarity, confidence, the numbers, but it also simulates the tension. The AI avatars might cut you off, question your assumptions, maybe even look bored if your pitch isn't sharp. You get immediate specific feedback on why your pitch didn't land or why it did, so you can try again right away and get better.
That instant feedback loop must be incredibly valuable. Okay, so pitching is step 1, but you need customers. Which brings us to Pillar 2.
Pillar 2, digital marketing and e-commerce mastery. This tackles how to actually use those huge global digital platforms we talked about. In the simulation, students are basically running a virtual storefront, think Shopify or Amazon.
So you're not just hearing a lecture on SEO. You're actually in there, tweaking ad spend on different channels. You see your return on ad spend change in real time based on what you do. You're practicing customer service, handling simulated shipping problems. It's very hands-on.
Yeah, the learning is immediate. You see the consequences of your choices, good or bad, right away.
Makes sense. If Pillar 2 is making money, Pillar 3 must be about keeping track of it.
Exactly. Pillar 3, financial management and investment fundamentals. This is the absolute backbone.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, especially thinking about that financial literacy gap we mentioned. So users step into the shoes of a virtual CFO.
That's right. You're given the financial controls of a simulated company. It's got revenue, expenses, maybe some debt, staffing costs, the works. And you're constantly forced to make tough calls. Budgeting, investment decisions, all while the simulated market conditions are changing around you. Do you put more money into R&D for the next product? Or pour it into marketing right now? What if the economy tanks in the simulation? How do you manage cash flow? It's intense pressure training.
Wow. And the amazing part is you could probably bankrupt your virtual company a few times, learn exactly why it failed, without losing a dime in real life.
That's the power of the sandbox. Then moving from finance to the actual product, you have Pillar 4, product development and innovation. This is all about that crucial design-to-market cycle, learning by iterating.
So in the XR space, you're not just sketching an idea, you actually design a virtual prototype, and then you test it with simulated customers.
Correct. You launch your virtual prototype, these simulated customers interact with it, and they give you feedback, maybe ratings, comments, usage data. Then you have to take that feedback, go back, redesign, improve the product, and test again. It basically shrinks that whole long process of prototyping and testing down into something you can repeat quickly. It really hammers home listening to users.
Okay, that makes sense. Build, test, learn, repeat. Faster. What's the last pillar?
Pillar 5 gets into scaling and growth strategy. This is about moving beyond just having a product and some initial success. It focuses more on the leadership side, the systems you need to build for rapid expansion, the softer skills, but also the hard structures.
So dealing with growing pains, essentially.
Exactly. In these advanced simulations, maybe you're working in a team, managing a business that's suddenly scaling up fast. You face complex HR issues like how do you integrate a new remote team? What if your best people start leaving? Or supply chain problems because demand just exploded. And managing the company culture when you go from 10 people to 50 almost overnight.
Yeah, that's stuff you absolutely cannot learn from a textbook. Trying to manage that kind of chaotic growth in a simulation seems like incredible practice for future executives.
So when you step back and look at the whole package, the transformation this offers, it's a fundamental shift. It's moving from just absorbing information passively to actually building active competence.
Absolutely. It's night and day, really. Before, you read case studies about financial trouble. Now, you are the virtual CFO trying to navigate it in real time. Before, you wrote a business plan. Now you're pitching to AI investors who push back until your model is solid.
And let's not forget the unique advantage XR brings, the AI-driven mentorship. It's not just about the simulation itself. The system gives you really specific contextual feedback, something a human mentor, honestly, just can't do at that scale or with that level of objectivity.
That's a really good point. A professor only has so much time, right? And everyone has biases. But the AI, it sees every click, every decision, allocating that extra $50 to ads, delaying a hire, and it can trace exactly how that choice impacted the outcome. The feedback is instant, objective, and you can repeat the scenario endlessly until you master it.
Plus, these scenarios aren't just made up. They're built using real-world data. Trends from e-commerce, financial market volatility, what's happening in innovation hubs, it's grounded. The goal isn't just theory, it's achieving scalable outcomes, preparing people to be real founders or even effective entrepreneurs changing things inside big companies.
And maybe the biggest thing, especially for someone just starting out, is the safety net. Before this kind of tech, the only way to really learn these hard lessons was often through actual failure. Real money lost, real damage to your reputation.
But now you have this virtual sandbox. You can experiment, try risky strategies you'd never dare attempt with your own savings, see what happens, and learn without real-world consequences. It dramatically lowers the barrier to entry. It tackles that fear of financial ruin head-on.
Yeah, the chairman of EON Reality summed it up perfectly, I think. He said something like, entrepreneurship is about more than ideas. It's about execution under pressure. XR Library Premium lets learners practice the real journey from startup pitch to global expansion in a safe and powerful way. It's about building that muscle memory for execution.
So what does this mean for you, the listener, if you're looking to get practical, high-level business skills fast? Well, this immersive approach seems like a shortcut to competence. By actually doing the work across these 5 key pillars in a simulation, you potentially skip years of painful trial and error in the real world. You can enter the market much better prepared.
We started off talking about that huge failure rate and how fear, especially fear of losing money, holds so many potential entrepreneurs back. So here's the thought to leave you with. If this technology truly lets people experience high-stakes business failure safely, learn from it perfectly, and try again. How fundamentally does having this virtual sandbox change who actually has the confidence and the skills to step up and become a successful founder? That could really reshape the future of business leadership.